recapping the key events that we have seen in the markets this week, let's start off in the UK with the pound. Some fresh political instability surfacing after we did see Defence Secretary Mr. Fallon stepping down from his position after reports suggesting of his bad behaviour towards women in the past. So that forced him to step down. And then not too long after, we saw the International Secretary Priti Patel. She was stripped from her position after reports suggesting that she was meeting behind closed doors Israeli officials over Israeli military, etc. So this has weighed on the pound heavily across the board, because not only now do we have political instability, we've also got the mess at the moment with Brexit, and it's even hard for me to keep up with the developments at the moment. A lot of push and pull, back and forth. Very little, as we can see from the newswires, in terms of progress. But late on Thursday, after the European close, we did see a fresh pound boost after reports coming out of the Financial Times suggesting that Theresa May is to boost Britain's £20 billion divorce offer to the EU, which could help with the trade talks and going forward. So that did very much help the pound across the board there. But what I would say is, guys, in terms of if you're going long or even short the pound, any little bit of news is really influencing sterling at the moment. So do tread very carefully and tighten up your stop loss positions. Looking over in New Zealand then, the RBNZ rate decision, as we did sort of preview that heading into this week, I was actually looking for that to be dovish just due to the changes in the government, but those haven't quite filtered through as of yet. I thought they may have had some sort of influence on the RBNZ governor, but no. This actually was quite hawkish, it's deemed, and we did see the New Zealand dollar very well supported and still holding up now, despite the dollar remaining fairly firm. So the RBNZ were actually quite positive on the growth outlook. They did welcome the recent weakness in the New Zealand dollar, the fall in that, citing that it is moving closer to fair value levels. As we know, they do want a weaker New Zealand dollar as it helps their exports business. And in terms of rhetoric, generally hinting towards rate hikes sooner than expected, actually. Originally expected those in Q3 of 2019, now looking at Q2 of 2019. So bringing those forward in terms of expectations. But they did note of the uncertainties surrounding the Labour-led coalition. And we did actually see some comments yesterday coming out of the New Zealand Finance Minister saying that changes in the RBNZ mandate could mean looser policy, as we were talking about at the beginning of the week, which could, over the long term, guys, over the long term, weigh on New Zealand dollar and bring that lower. Looking over in the United States then, for the US dollar, we did see some pressure really hitting the dollar late on Thursday after reports coming out suggesting that the cut in corporate tax could be delayed until 2019. So this has really let the markets down. We've been talking about this for a long time now, Donald Trump really not pushing through with that at the moment. So that has really let markets down and forced them to sell the dollar across the board. So do keep an eye on those developments, but likely to be delayed, as strongly indicated by the reports coming out there. In terms of some technicals, guys, to be aware of, looking at the pound, as I say, I'm staying very much clear of this, but we're sitting around a demand zone just above that. But should we break 130.20 roughly, it could open the door and the gates to 128 and then potentially as low as 126. But I don't think as low as 126 is realistic at the moment. We're likely to be range bound until some real developments come out of the Brexit negotiations, between 130.50 up to 132 as a maximum for the time being. Looking over in euro dollar, as we've been talking about for weeks, this head and shoulders, we're around the neckline at the moment, which sits around 116.60 towards 116.80. Should we break above and head towards 117, forget about that setup, but I'm still at the moment, both technically and fundamentally, heavily short for euro dollar. And very lastly, looking at dollar yen, as we saw at the start of the week, and I did note a lot of resistance around 114.50. Well, we did briefly break above that, but the resistance proved too much and we're heading lower again now. Gates look to be open to 112. If that is broken, that level, that region, we're cleared and open towards 109, 108 over the coming weeks or so. So other than that, I hope you have had a great trading week, and I look forward to reporting the key events next week. Thank you.